This is Keith Tromer for pptXTREME. Today I'm going to give you an overview of pptXTREME Import-Export. All of the pptXTREME add-ins that deal with images use a few different techniques behind the scenes to greatly improve the functionality of PowerPoint and increase your performance. Right size, folder memory, and link bedded. Let me insert a few images in the traditional manner to point out the deficiencies of PowerPoint that pptXTREME will fix. I'll start with a blank presentation. I'll choose Insert from the ribbon and then choose Pictures. First, notice that PowerPoint defaults the browser to My Pictures folder. It's frustrating to always have to browse to the folder I'm working in. pptXTREME folder memory is much smarter. It remembers the last folder you imported from and takes you right there. And it does this for each presentation separately. Here's the file I'll import. A simple 1920 by 1080 grid. This file is set up properly and should fill my default 16 by 9 slide in PowerPoint, but it doesn't. It's quite a bit smaller than the slide. pptXTREME right size in combination with set DPI will fix this. Lastly, now that I've inserted this picture, it is saved with the presentation, but if I ever need to find the original image again, I'm out of luck. PowerPoint offers no information to help you find where it came from. This is where link bedded comes in. Let me do the same sequence using pptXTREME's Insert Pictures. First, notice that I'm immediately in the folder I'm looking for. Because this is an unsaved presentation and pptXTREME has not been used on this presentation before, it will go into the last folder I've imported from. Folder memory will choose your default folder in this order. If you have used any of the pptXTREME import functionality on the active presentation before, it will use the last folder selected. If you have not used pptXTREME functions on this file and it is a saved presentation, it will go to the folder that the presentation is saved in. If pptXTREME has not been used on this file and it is unsaved, it'll go to the last folder you used for any pptXTREME import function. Okay, let me click on the same grid image. Notice that the image is automatically imported at the right size, filling my slide. This is because I have my DPI set properly in the pptXTREME Set DPI tool. For a more detailed understanding of how resolution works in PowerPoint, please see the Resolution Explained topic in the Frequently Asked Questions section of our forum. In short, all you have to do is match your image size to the presentation size. I know, for example, I'm creating a presentation that's going to be displayed at 1920 by 1080. And any Photoshop or other imagery I create will be based on that resolution. So in the DPI box, I enter that pixel size, and the DPI is automatically set for me. If my presentation was going to be output at 1280 by 720, still with the default PowerPoint presentation size of 13.33 by 7.5 inches, then my DPI would be 96. Since I'm working at 1080p, let me change this back to 1920 by 1080. Now with link bedded, this image will still be saved with my presentation just as it would be a normal PowerPoint insert. However, pptXTREME retains link information allowing you to find and update this picture at any time in the future. If I click on Show Picture Path from the More IE pull down on the pptXTREME ribbon, or by right-clicking on the image, it'll bring up a window that allows me to copy the path to the clipboard or open a Windows Explorer window with that file selected. To illustrate this further, let me import a few more images. I'll quickly arrange these on the page. Let's do it like so. There, that seems okay. Then I'll add some animation using pptXTREME effects library. Okay. Let's say I wanted to make some changes to these images. I'll find the first file by right-clicking and choosing Show Picture Path, and then Find in Windows Explorer. Of course, I can do this for each of the images, but I happen to know that all these images are together in this folder. Now I'm going to take them all and open them in Photoshop. Let's say I just want to make everything grayscale instead of color. I'll choose Image, Adjustments, Black and White. I'll select the default, and then I'll just save and close. I'll do the same thing to the other images. This time I'll use Photoshop shortcut keys to make it quicker though. For this example, let's pretend for this last file I don't want to replace the original file. In this case, I'll select Save As and give it a new name. Now, back to PowerPoint. I'm going to select all 4 images, and then from the pptXTREME ribbon, choose More IE, Update Pictures. This dialog allows options for sizing. In our case, the new images are exactly the same size as the original, so any of the first 3 options will do the same thing. Okay, you can see it replaced 3 of the image, but not the 4th one because we did not overwrite the original file. For that one, I'll select it, and instead of choosing Update Picture, I'll choose Replace Picture. Choose the new file, and click Open. I'll click OK again for the size options. Now, remember I created animations for this file. Well, after updating and replacing these images automatically, the animations are still there. Remember, all these features are currently working behind the scenes with all functions in pptXTREME Import-Export and Photoshop Import add-ins. For example, I'm going to use the Import tool to create a slideshow of a lot of images. There's a separate detailed tutorial on our website showing all the features of this import dialog and how powerful it is. But for this tutorial, I'm quickly going to import a bunch of images and create a slideshow with pictures embedded into the background. Select Files. Notice the default folder is the same as the last one I used. I'm going to browse to a different one and select a whole bunch of images. Then I'll choose Import as Background, Create New Slides, and Import after selected slide. OK. You can see how quickly I just created this slideshow. Now, if I wanted to see where this image came from, I simply right-click on the slide. Notice here I can update the background as well. And I'm going to choose Show Background Path. And then I'm going to Find in Windows Explorer. And now I can edit and update this file as needed. What else is included in Import-Export? Let's look at the first icon, BKG Picture. This is just a quick shortcut to set the slide's background to an image, rather than the 5 clicks and menus you would have had to go through in PowerPoint, with the convenience of folder memory and link bedded, saving the link information for easily locating, editing, and updating the background later. Export Slides. Export Slides is a quick, easy tool that enables exporting slides or an entire presentation to images at any resolution, while allowing you to choose file format and naming options. There's a more detailed tutorial on these options on our website. Please have a look. Export Shapes is new in 2015. How many times have you and a team of 10 designers worked on a week-long show making countless presentations, and at the end, the coordinator asks to get all the logos used everywhere collected so they can be organized and used later? With this tool, you can export either all inserted images or all shapes in a presentation to a single folder that you can then go through and organize as needed. I'll use this short sample presentation as an example. On the first slide, I have the pptXTREME logo as all separate pieces, and on the second slide I have them grouped together to be a single logo. Then I have a bunch of other slides with varying content. I'll click Export Shapes from the pptXTREME ribbon. First, I'll set the folder I want to export the images to. The next 3 lines create the file naming structure, with the last box showing a sample of what the file will look like in the end. For example, I'll use the prefix of pptx. For a separator, I'll use a hyphen, and then on the suffix, I'll add demo. I will choose to export all shapes. If I leave this unchecked, it will only export pictures that were inserted into the presentation. Next, I'll choose not to ungroup before exporting. This way, anything grouped will be exported as one piece. OK. As you can see, it exported every shape in this presentation into a separate PNG file. Now I can organize and save what I need from it easily. Lastly, let's take one more look at the More IE pull-down. In this demo, we've showed you most of these tools, many of them by right-clicking on shapes or in the background. One we did not show you is Update All Pictures in Presentation. This does the same as Update Picture, but updates every picture in your presentation with one click. So, for example, if you're creating a photo module and the photos will not be taken until you're on site, you can create a file naming structure, program your show with temporary images before you leave, and automatically replace the photos in seconds while you're on site. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. I'm Keith Tromer for PPTXTREME. See you next time.